Hey, everybody. Welcome to day 7 of Level Up Lead Generation. So excited. I've heard from so many of you in the DMs and in emails telling me what an impact this is having, which is really cool because that's why I do it. So today we're chatting about email marketing, right? So those pretty newsletters that you get once a week, once a month, that drop into your inbox. There are some people that I absolutely will always open, and some people that I actually always just hit delete and don't even look at, right? And I think we all have those. Hopefully, I'm not one of the delete ones for you guys, but trying to bring value in a unique way to clients, right? We spent the past week talking all about the fact that to get new business, you got to get in front of people. And then you got to figure out from the 100 or the 1,000 or the 10,000 people that you're in front of, who of those 10,000 are the people that you want to work with? Of the 10,000, maybe it's, 1,000. And then of the 1,000 who can afford you, maybe it's 100. And then of the 100 who want to purchase you, maybe that's 10. Whatever it is, it's a numbers game, right? No matter what you're selling, you're in sales and you have a lead pool that has to trickle down and then be nurtured to build a know, like, and trust factor, to believe that your product is going to solve their problems, and then be committed to the results. That's what we're teaching today, right? Email marketing is the way that you can do it. One, emails, once you can capture them, don't generally change for people. I am so happy when somebody unsubscribes, which I know sounds weird, but it means they're out of my space. I don't want energy for people that don't want what I offer, right? But at the same time, I've got a ton of people coming in. I'm about 200 people away from my max of 5,000 in active campaign before I have to kind of trigger up to the next level of coaching. Well, that's great and all, except I know all of those people aren't actively engaged. That's business. So I've got to figure out through email nurtures, campaigns, nurture sequences, right? Who's interested still in the product I offer? Who has maybe aged out of sleep coaching? Who doesn't like me or believe I can help them in their business transformation? And then get them to either unsubscribe or I take them off the list because they're not engaged, right? I'm totally happy to do that. I want clean data with people who are willing to learn. A lot of people get nervous about that. They don't want to see an unsubscriber. They freak out when somebody unsubscribes from their newsletter. Me, I welcome it because it tells me that that person is just not in alignment with whatever I'm offering at that time. And that's okay. I don't want to waste energy on that person. Makes sense, right? Flip side. Anymore, people can do a whole lot of research. They can shop around. Most people have a pretty good idea who they're going to work with before they even get on the phone, right? Because they've researched you, or they've been a part of your journey, or they've built a relationship with you on social media, right? I don't know people that see me on social media, but I was at Target in Exton a couple weeks ago, and some lady's like, "You're Courtney Zentz. You own Tiny Transitions. I follow you on Instagram." And I was like, "Oh, you're my first fan," And it was like, "Oh, that's nice." She's like, "I actually recognized your kids because I had a hat on." I'm like, "How does she see me?" And she's like, "I recognized your kids." And then, when you turned, I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's her." So it was kind of fun. I'm like, I had a fan moment, right? But how do you stay in touch with people? Email marketing and email nurtures, you have to have in place. If you're not nurturing people, what are people doing? They're getting your freebie or they're meeting you at something and then they're gone. You never follow up with them. They never reach out to you because they kind of forgot or they couldn't remember the name of your company or who you were or what you did or which person did I get that awesome freebie from? Don't remember, right? It takes now 10 to 15 touches, 10 to 15 touches for somebody to make a buying choice, right? I'm done with you guys tomorrow. Day 8, we're done. You're done with me. That's it. Kaput, finished. Bye, Courtney, right? What do I want to happen? Well, as a business owner, I want people to move into the lab. I want people to buy a service, right? Well, maybe they will. Maybe they're not ready. Or maybe they're not the right fit for whatever the reason. Okay, we're done tomorrow. You know what I mean? So I've built 8 days of know, like, and trust. You'll get my weekly newsletter. I'll try to share value with you, even if you decide not to move forward, because that's my mission. And then at some point, you're going to realize there's business need and you're going to need me for something, right? Same thing with sleep, right? I send a newsletter out kind of once a month. We're sending it just this morning to our whole list of people. Talks about 4 or 5 different blog posts that are pertinent, talks about 4 or 5 different podcasts, Something coming up this weekend with sleep is daylight savings. Big question is samples. How do I do it before? How do I do it after? Here those are on a silver platter. Oh, by the way, we have this amazing sleep coaching course. Oh, by the way, we have this amazing offering, right? So I'm nurturing you as a participant through a newsletter. Okay. That is one way of staying in touch with people. You are nurturing them to the point in which you offer something that they want from a newsletter. Okay. The other type of thing on the other side is you got a warm lead, right? Let's say you help kids get college scholarships. Okay. And so your whole business model is based on that. And you're like, okay, well, when am I going to touch people? Well, people that are trying to get their kids college scholarships are probably time sensitive, right? They're probably ending junior year, going into senior year. They know their kid's smart. They know their kid's athletic, whatever it is, right? So you have a kind of a fixed amount of time to offer your product about helping kids get scholarships because they're filling out the applications. They're testing now, right? So in a year, not applicable unless they have another kid, right? So you got to figure out which way is best to communicate with them. When somebody opts into my freebie, a checklist, a packing list, a free video, this training, what is the nurture sequence that I am going to share with them after I finish Level Up Lead Gen? We'll go forward, right? Because it's not live. People are just going to get me. They're going to watch me out on the Accidental Business Coach on YouTube. They're going to watch me because I'm doing this training on a recording I'm sending out because today at 11:20 I'm doing it. And today, this afternoon, I'm going to send it out. So I'm kind of engaging right now as I do this, but make no mistake, like as of Wednesday, when I'm done, any new person that opts in to get the recordings, I'm going to enter them into a nurture sequence, right? Hi, I'm Courtney. Hi, I can teach you all this really great stuff to transform your business. Hi, are you ready to make changes? Are you sick of being stuck where you are? Okay, great. Let me help you, right? And I've got to nurture them to the point where they believe that I can change their situation, right? For whatever it is they want to buy based on the services we offer. That's a warm lead that you are nurturing. So the term nurture sequence is an email marketing term. I'm going to go a little basic because I have to assume some people don't understand this when you're watching this. So I want to make sure it's clear. Campaign is like a one-off campaign, a giveaway, a one-time newsletter that's going out. You can go in and create a campaign and send it. Create a campaign and send it. Like right now, we finish a recording, I create a campaign and send it. Tomorrow, finish, create a campaign and send it to a defined list. They get the email. On the other side of the business is a nurture sequence. Somebody opts into my freebie and then has a series of triggers that they're going through, time-based, access-based, comment-based, specific content-based, that triggers to then send them something to nurture the relationship. Okay. A lot of people use different systems depending on what industry you're in and what system you have preference to. Okay. I use a system called ActiveCampaign. There's a lot of systems out there. Constant Contact is another pretty common one. ConvertKit is another common one. MailChimp is probably the most mainstream, but I find excessively complex to use for nurture sequences. Flowdesk has capacity to do certain things. Every system that you use is going to have different feature sets and functionalities, which is why I'm taking the time to explain them to you right now, because it's going to change, you see. And the reason it's going to change is because what is the trigger? So the obvious trigger is like, comment yes, and I'll send you my guide. Opt in here and I'll give you my newsletter. Opt in here and I'll send you my checklist, right? All the things that you do every day in business or in your life where you're like, oh, I want to know what sneakers those are. Let me opt in, right? Oh, I want your daylight saving sample schedules. Let me comment and get daylight saving schedules, right? The only way you're getting those schedules is if I get your email, because that's how I'm going to market to you, right? I have subscribed to something to get the freebie and 4 seconds later unsubscribed because I just want the freebie. I don't need what you're selling. I'm just curious what you're doing, right? We've all done it and that's fine. Like I said, I'd rather unsubscribe and not fill up their contact pool. And frankly, I don't want to be annoyed by their messages because I have no interest in what they're selling, right? Sometimes it's like a recipe. It's usually where I'll do it. Like I get the recipe and then I'm like, unsubscribe. Boop. I don't need to hear from you 700 times. Don't care about making anything. Okay. What you really want, though, is people to stick around, to people be so involved in what you're talking about and what you're teaching them and how you're helping them, enough that they see success, guys, but not enough that you're fixing their problem, right? People say to me all the time, well, why do you give away so much for free? You're just taking away paid clients. Honey, if somebody's doing something and getting success from what I teach free, you don't need to book with me. Make no mistake, though, when you book with me, right? So you're going to get value. That's my point. I'm not somebody who gives away like not great content, right? There's tons of those people out there. Just get my thing. And then you get the thing and you're like, this is garbage. Do you want to work with that person when you get their thing and you're like, oh, right? No. 52-week nurture sequence. 52-week nurture sequence. This is written to speak to you for 52 weeks. I got to turn it on, but it's done. This is to talk to you once a week about your engagement. And you know what happens during the process? When you click something on our website, when you hit a button, when you download something, when a tag is added to you because you somehow interacted with me, whether it's sleep coaching or business coaching, I know. Guess what I can do? Wait 1 hour, send email. Hi, Maureen. Happy to see you. We're checking out the checklist. Are there any questions I can answer for you? How did she know I was checking out the checklist, right? Cookies, my friend, and they're glorious. Not the Girl Scout ones my kids keep thinking are a free buffet in the garage since I'm the cookie mom, but cookies on your computer, right? So when you're building relationships with people, there's going to be the initial opt-in, which should trigger a series of emails. Then there's going to be the like, okay, at some point, this person's going to go into the normal newsletter email, or you're going to keep trying to nurture them through every age and stage. I'll give you an example in sleep coaching. If somebody opts in with a newborn, right? And I can see their baby was born March 5th. Guess what I want to do? On March 12th, give them a week to recognize the chaos. Go, how's your first week home? Is it a big fat dumpster fire? Probably. I was there too. And let me explain a couple things that worked. Here's a little hack I did with my husband in a whiteboard where I wrote down all the things we needed to do. Oh, here's my Navigating a Newborn book. Digital copy's free. Oh, and by the way, we offer newborn coaching. I'm a lactation counselor, CPST, sleep coach. Would you like to book a call? Right? I can help in this phase where you're struggling, right? And I know maybe they take me up on that at March 12th, 7 days in. You know what I do? A week later. Hey, you're 2 weeks in, your nursing supply should be established and your boobs are no longer leaking. Yay! 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in, 4 months in. Uh-oh, your baby's 4 months. Did you hit the 4-month sleep regression? Here's how I can help with that. Here's a helpful piece of content, right? So for kids, it's a very easy stage for kids going to college. What year or month are they starting college? September 2024. Okay, back it out. September 2023, they're filling out applications. June 2023, they're trying to figure out how good they are. Oh, and they're working with scouts to come, or they're taking tests to get money, right? So you can back out with a date for a lot of industries based on what you're selling, right? Sometimes it's generic, so you're just generically nurturing them on something like search engine optimization. Hey, Billy, your page load speed sucks. And then maybe next week it's like, hey, do you know anything about domain authority? Are you using image alt tags? Right? So each week you're hitting them with something which is specific to SEO. And then at the end, they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't understand this. I need professional help. We know how to lose weight. You go to the gym, you exercise, right? Well, then what do you need personal trainers for? Accountability. Every body type is different. Me, I need a personal trainer who knows me how I can gain weight and still work out 7 days a week. I don't want to lose weight. I can't. I don't have a stomach, right? So for me, I got to find the trainer that specializes in that thing, right? So when you're talking to these people, you got to figure out like, who am I talking to? So they're listening. And then sometimes it makes sense where you hit that trigger point, which happened to me. I was 97 pounds. Okay, that's not a glamorous number I want to be at, but I had to figure out, how do I get back to 115? Okay, I can only consume heavily macronutrient food. I have to eat every 2 hours. So I bought an Apple Watch. I don't wear it anymore because I'm back to 115 and I think it's annoying that it vibrates all the time. But I I had very conscious changes, but I needed an expert to tell me how to do it successfully. I needed accountability and I needed a plan. I could implement all these little SEO tools that I'm getting told, but if I'm actually ready to up level my game and I need my numbers to jump, it probably makes sense to hire the trainer, the SEO expert, right? Like the sleep coach. People all the time are like, I want this person to book with me and I don't know why they didn't close and I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. And, I'm a good sleep coach. And I'm like, okay, well, what are you doing different? What's your messaging? How's it, you know what I mean? Like, and people like hear me talking to potential clients. They're like, you sound so at ease and not at all salesy. I'm like, I'm not salesy. I can help you. Do you believe I can help you? Then you will book with me. It's the same with the lab. Do you want to move forward with coaching with me in the lab? Great. I hope you do. If you don't, okay, then don't complain that in 6 months your business looks the same, right? Like you as a consumer you have to put yourself in the consumer's position when they're getting messages from you. As I mentioned, there's one email from one person, and I'm not going to tell you who she is because she's amazing. And I'm keeping her for myself, but I wait for her emails and they're very sporadic. But the stuff she says, she's got a real dry sense of humor. Um, but I keep her for myself because I love her and I don't want to share her with the world. Right. And she hasn't put a newsletter out probably in a month and a half. So she's probably taken a break. She's very hit or miss, which is why when her emails come, I make sure to open them. But I'm attracted to her. Right. I'm attracted to her. You have to make your product, your persona, your personality attractive to people. Right. I just launched the Accidental Business Coach like now. Like, so I've been doing business coaching for a couple of years. I've been in business for 25 years in different capacities, right? Like it's not like business is new to me, but like creating a brand new brand from the start is, right? In addition to a very successful other brand. Okay. So it's just balance in moving things through to talk to the person to get them to take action, right? So you've got campaign, you've got nurture sequence. Okay. I'm going to show you how to create a nurture sequence because you have to understand if the systems you have in place are capable of doing it. Flowdesk, I'm not sure. MailChimp can do it, but not to the degree that Campaign can. 17 Hats, it can't do it. So if you want it, now you're paying for this and you're paying for this and you're paying for the system to connect them called Zapier, right? So when people are like, do I really have to buy another system? I'm like, well, it depends. You can buy this system and this system and this system, or you can have one system that does all of it. Your choice, right? Not every system is ever going to do 100% of what you want. Okay. Active Campaign for my business does 97% of what I need. The 3% it doesn't is kind of the invoice creation and curation. That's not what it was meant to do. It's a CRM and it's a marketing automation software. So what do? I use WooCommerce on my website and have e-commerce checkout, Spotify checkout, Square checkout, which feeds Active Campaign automatically. Somebody buys on my website, it pushes it in. I don't have to do anything. It's connected, just a different way. So architecture is one of the things that we dive in. It's one of the first whole sections in the lab just because it can be overwhelming. Your marketing automation software has to connect all the pieces or it's not going to be worth your time. You're going to get pissed and frustrated. You got to look at your whole sequence, guys, when you're trying to figure out what you're trying to sell and make sure that the systems you have in place are going to support what you're trying to do. Okay. So let me show you my system and I'm going to walk you through actually how to create a nurture sequence. Okay. So I'm inside of Active Campaign. This is our system. And there are both campaigns here, which you'll see. Okay. Tiny transitions, level up lead gen, everything's managed in one place. Some send from Courtney at Tiny Transitions. Some send from Courtney at Courtney Zents, right? I've got contact lists and all this different stuff out here. Okay. This is a one-off campaign. Here's what's going on. Here's what's going on. Okay. Over here is an automation. I am creating an automation that says if a person does this thing, send them an email, add a tag, create a deal, text me as the owner and let me know, right? That I'm got a client engaging. Maureen's here live, right? Maureen just went out and clicked on the lab. Awesome. Is she interested in purchasing it? Hey, Maureen, just reaching out. Curious if you had any questions about the lab. or if there's anything I can do for you. How have you enjoyed Level Up Lead Gen so far? Right? Maybe you don't send it the second she's on the page and you kind of give it an hour, but pretty cool. Hey, was just thinking about you, Mary. I know you're traveling soon for Easter. I wanted to share this baby checklist with you. Okay, that's a nice way to reconnect, guys, without being salesy. But you can see somebody's interacting with your content in some way, and you can slide into their inbox just perfectly timed with this helpful piece of information, right? How do you make sure your system is set up for that helpful piece of information? Now, ActiveCampaign, I love for a variety of reasons. It's too complex to get into this training. Every system is going to have pros and cons. If you're interested in getting into this level of work in your business, the lab is your best bet, okay? Because this can get overwhelming fast. It's not something I can cover in 30 minutes, but it's something that's like gangbusters once you have the capability to do it, right? Or just book an hour with me and we can chat through it, right? If the lab's not a perfect fit, but you want to talk through it, awesome. You have options, right? Shoot me an email and let me know, because this is a game changer for the way in which you follow up with leads and you stay engaged and you stay top of mind. Look at all the triggers, okay? So a trigger, my friends, is what is the behavior that triggers the automation? It doesn't have to be an email. Again, it could be that somebody pays for a product, so then they create a deal, and then it sends them in a form. Then it adds a tag that says private coaching client, and then it sends them a follow-up. Then it, opens the red email, then it adds a deal, then it removes them from one list and adds them to another. Like, the opportunities, my friends, are endless out here, right? I could click on so many behaviors, activities, financial things, right? Websites visited. If you go to this specific website, wait 1 hour, send a follow-up email, right? There's so much that you can do to engage with potential buyers, to build value, to build a know, like, and trust, right? Based on what they're doing. This just happened to me yesterday. There's a conference in New York that Kelly and I are planning to go to. I put it in my cart. If you want my honest feedback, they have a sticky widget at the top of their header on their website, and the sticky widget is prohibiting you from actually adding a quantity of 2 to their shopping cart. So the UX is terrible because I can't add the second person to the cart because their sticky header with the banner is fixed on the page, right? So right now I can't check out because I need a quantity of 2, but their design is pourable and they didn't test it. So I can't add 2. I've got to rig it, try to figure out before the header pops in at 1 second, how to add a second person to the cart, right? So this morning I woke up because I didn't check out to an abandoned cart email. Hey, you still planning to come to New York in March? Here's the link, right? That is what they're using. Now, what system they're using, I don't know, but I can tell you because there's software that tells you that, right? All kinds of cool stuff you can learn from me. So all of these behaviors and activities allow you to create a trigger for you and for having somebody get a nurture sequence. It's typically a form that they're submitting, right? Opt-in, 10 ways to generate revenue, data scraping, 6 steps, clarity, Harmony Hustle. Like, I got all kinds of forms out here for all this different stuff, right? I'm the public speaker at the Moabs events for all these expecting parents. When somebody opts in here, what am I doing? Well, just one time I'm triggering an email. Well, what do I want to do? Okay, so if they opt in, what is the next action I'm taking? Usually it's sending an email, but I also might want to create a deal, stay on top of these people because they're about to have a baby. So they're a potential client for 5 years, right? So let's say the first thing I do is I want to create a deal. So right here in contacts, I can add a tag that is like Moabs, right? So now I know where I found them. They came from Moabs. Great. That identifies the lead revenue. Moabs 2023. Awesome. So when they submit the form, I know they're from Moabs. Then I want to create a deal. Okay, deal title. I'm going to personalize this a bit, right? I want it to be their full name. And I don't know what the value is. So for right now, nothing. And they are private coaching. They are prospecting, and I am the owner. Okay. Great. Now, what do I want to happen? Well, typically you want to send them an email. Hey, thanks for opting in. Email. I usually do this as like email number 1. Welcome. right? Well, what am I doing? Usually I have a template. Okay, you got to design this the first time, guys. And there's two ways you can design a template. You can either have it be fancy with a header, or you can just have it be like, sometimes you'll get the emails that you know are a newsletter, but they look like an email, right? I prefer to just state the obvious, since I know what you're sending me that looks like an email isn't really an email. Okay. And I go into my designer and I have a template that ActiveCampaign was so kind to help me set up. And I grab the template, right? Or I can go into what they give you. See, they have a bunch out here already. So it's like, you don't even have to, you don't even have to kind of create one. They've got a bunch here. And let's just say I use one of these. Who's it coming from? Is this Tiny Transitions or is it Courtney Zentz? For this, I'm just gonna put a little name in here. Okay, you can change that later. So now when somebody submits that form, am I sending it to them right away? Well, probably, or am I gonna wait a little bit? Okay, so I can put a new image in here. Let me find like a good header. I've got a whole bunch of stuff out here. We'll go with this one. It's an old one. So you have a header, you can change your custom colors, you can put your text in like, welcome, click here. You add your link in, right? So you've got this really nice first email, save and exit. It's done, right? Now you guys have to do this and actually get it set up. I'm doing this speed dating. We're speed dating today. Okay. What do I want to happen? Well, first I've got to name this Moab's Nurture, right? So I know, because sometimes I forget to do that. And then maybe there's two triggers. Maybe it's form from Moab's, or a tag was added because I got a list of all the participants from the event owner, right? So I could say, hey, if the tag is added, because I bulk uploaded, if the tag's added, I also want that to be a trigger. So now they're either filling out the form at the event or I'm getting the list after. And then maybe I don't want to send it quite that time because it's 10 o'clock at night. I want to send it maybe after 20 minutes after they opt in, or 5 minutes, right? Or I want to wait 1 day. You can set that up here. So most people, I kind of say, hey, wait like 5 minutes when they opt into something and then send them something. And then you say, okay, hey, welcome. So nice to see you. And then you wait another day, right? And then you do the second email, right? So you're kind of repeating this process, guys, up to 52 times. You want to send 52 emails. This is how you do it, right? We set this up for clients all the time, right? I actually write and build and implement their nurture sequences, because this is consuming and confusing for some people. They're like, here's money, just do it for me, right? Great, happy to. What system? Okay, so you see email 1, wait a day. Email 2, wait a day. Email 3, wait a day. Oh, but wait a minute. What if after a couple emails, they've kind of gone quiet? They haven't booked anything yet. Not sure they're going to buy anything, but I just kind of want to watch them for a little bit, right? You can have triggers, right? So let's say, for example, if somebody like goes to a website or changes a status or updates something in here, right? You can actually trigger other things to happen based on conditions being met. So if I want to add a condition that says, wait until website is visited, that they go to this website, right? Or wait till they unsubscribe or subscribe, which you actually wouldn't want to do that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you can say like, wait until maybe they add a second freebie, right? Usually it's that they go out to a website. So they visit a website. So when they visit this particular website, trigger this particular automation. And then what happens is you're basically creating an automatic notification, right? So I could say, hey, if this person goes out to the website, send me an email that tells me make no mistakes, friends, this is what smart salespeople do. Okay. So if Maureen goes out and completes some trigger I have in here on a behavior, I'm going to get an inbox email that says, Maureen just visited your site. Kelly just downloaded your freebie. Courtney visited the lab. Courtney looked at the pricing on the lab. What does that tell me? You're thinking about the lab. Hey, Maureen, just wanted to reach out. Do you have any questions on the lab? Is there anything I can answer for you? Right? Now, wait a minute. What if they become a client? Well, if they become a client, then end the automation. So over here, the people that become clients, we can stop talking to. And then the people over here, we keep nurturing. So you can have things like goals and behaviors and actions that take place inside of a system like this. Goals. If this happens, do this, go here. If this happens, start another automation. Maureen checks out for the lab. Great. Kick off a new automation. Welcome to the lab. And then you end the automation for them here, right? So you're essentially, guys, process optimizing everything in your business. So you're very hands-off, okay? But you're also very hands-on. I can now see that you went out and looked at my website. It's the perfect time for me to follow up and be like, hey, what do you think of Level Up Lead Gen? So you're watching the replay. Helpful? Are there any questions I can answer for you? Right? Let me know. Hey, you're thinking about private coaching. Are there any questions I can answer for you? Hey, I saw you were on the website about co-sleeping. No, we don't recommend it. Not safe. Right? Or here's why we don't recommend it. Maybe you're just not educated, right? On why it's not safe, right? So not assuming why people are there, but asking how we can help them build know, like, and trust. Which way are you going to do it? 1 email a week, 2 emails a week. Russell Brunson, 1 email a day. Every single day. And his emails are ridiculous. And if you get 1, you get 700, right? Works for him. He's built a billion time over organization called ClickFunnels, right? He's very good at sales. Why? Human behavior. It's not your message. It's not your price. He's using buyer psychology to convert you to whatever it is he's offering. Okay. His system of ClickFunnels does something very similar to what, like, you're seeing here in ActiveCampaign. They all kind of function similarly, which is to better manage and allow you to communicate with a pool of people that you perceive need your program, whatever you're offering, right? And then over here are the people that either became clients, so they've moved into a different nurture, or they've unsubscribed. They're out of your wheelhouse, right? But I don't ever, unless somebody unsubscribes, what I don't do is generally move them off my list. Usually when somebody opts in, especially about sleep coaching, I will do like a 2-week nurture, which is something that's included in the lab, already written. One of my consultants the other day was like, I don't know what you're doing with the nurture, but it's converting a ton of people to me. She's one of my consultants in Texas. Okay. The messaging, my friends, right? But you know what? After a series of 2 weeks, if you're not converting, you probably went with someone else, aren't ready to commit, you're going on a trip, whatever the reason is, you're not moving forward, right? Well, I don't want to badger you because you're not ready. You're mentally not ready. You're physically not ready. You're financially not ready, whatever the choice is that you're making. Now, the opportunity cost is that you're stuck here. Convert, I'll get you here. What's going to be the activity that triggers somebody to convert, right? Belief you can fix their issue. I can absolutely help you scale your company. I can absolutely help you get your kids sleeping. I can absolutely data mine that site for you, right? I can absolutely help understand where you're going wrong with content curation and creation, right? Like skills, we all bring different ones, right? What can I do to fill the void for where you are in your business? And then how can I massage you in that message? Okay. But after 7 days, I'm like, all right, well, we're done now. We're not dating anymore. But I am going to do this. I'm going to give you a nice goodbye and then tell you that I'm going to put you in my monthly nurture so you don't think I'm Russell Brunson. I love him, but it's annoying every day, right? Because I'm in 75 unsubscribes and I can't figure out what the hell to unsubscribe from, because when you click unsubscribe, you're in like 90 different lists for how he's managing his contacts in his system as campaigns and how he's managing his people as lists. You opted into this freebie or that freebie or this freebie. You know, you could be in all of them if you're getting all his stuff, right? So what you have to decide is like, what is that break even point where you're like, okay, you're now like not a warm lead, but you're going to come around sometime. Your kid's not going to sleep, or you're just going to be sick of doing nothing and getting no further in your business. You'll come back. And when you do, I'll be here and ready at whatever the price or package looks like for you. Right? So it's staying connected, guys. And I say this to clients all the time, be accessible, not excessive. I have a very laissez-faire approach to some aspects of my business. You know why? Because my quality speaks for itself. Do I do things to get myself out there? Yes, I'm doing it right now. Am I going to hunt people down to convert to the lab and badger them through direct message like some other of my competition does? No. Why? Because that's tacky and desperate. I know the quality of the work I provide, both on the sleep coaching side and the business side. If you want to work with me, great, hire me. Otherwise, our relationship ends tomorrow. Thank you. It's been nice to speed date, right? Now I'm hoping that the speed dating is enough to help you move the needle, but I'm also hoping as a business owner that you go, oh, you know what? If I move the needle this much, imagine what I could do if I actually had one-on-one time with Courtney, right? In whatever capacity. People, I have a Sleep Steps program. It's $47 a month. I answered a question this morning that came from a current client with like a pretty long email from this new potential client. And she's like, hey, I was referred to you. I'm curious about your Sleep Steps program, which is $47 a month, guys. Okay. So let me explain. And I'm sorry, my dog's going nuts. I have no idea who's here, but it's probably the septic tank guy. So my goodness, is aggressive. All right. It's the real life of pets. But it is something that like, now I lost my train of thought. I'm going to murder my dog, but it's basically like, you're just trying to figure out like, what's going to move that needle forward with somebody, right? And not badger them. Like, I don't need to do that, but like, I'm building value and I hope you convert, right? And if you don't, you'll come back. So that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, I don't get annoying with people. I just try to be helpful and hope that you'll want to move the needle forward because I've proven myself to you. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Now, what happens is inside of a contact inactive campaign, it will adjust what that person is doing. It moves them automatically through deals. What stage in the pipeline are they at? What tasks do I have for a particular person? So inside my CRM, right, just to give you an example, and I'm going to pull somebody up just from a proprietary and confidentiality standpoint. I'm just going to pull up somebody quick before I share my screen, because obviously I want to make sure that I'm not sharing all my clients' data with you. But this one is a test account. It's Kelly. Okay. So I'm going to share this and just kind of show you because Kelly's here and this is all stuff, right? So, oops, there's Ashika coming in. So we've got all this different stuff out here and I'm going to scroll down a bit to hide her phone number. But we've got Kelly and we've got all this different stuff, right? Over here on the right are the recent activities. So I can see all the stuff that Kelly's done. I can see what lists she's in or not. I can see what automation she's in. I can see what events she scheduled, how much money she spent, what tasks are open. I can manage an entire client relationship inside of here. In addition to the fact it's a marketing automation, it's also a CRM. As I mentioned before, people use Dubsado or they use 17 Hats. That's not this, but you're not going to get this there. So when you're assessing systems as a new business owner, you got to figure out, okay, well, if you're going to use those, you also need this second cost to get them to connect, because you need them to connect. You need to pay for this third cost. What is your back-end system infrastructure to make sure that what you're building works, makes sense, and is cost appropriate, right? People are afraid to spend money in their business. You know how you make money in business? Spend money. Or you sit and wait and you push through very slowly, right? Forward momentum is still momentum, but you can go real fast if you have the right car, right? Look over on the right. What is she doing? Now, again, this is a fake account that we use. So we're testing different things, right? To make sure things are triggering. I can see she subscribed. I can see she did. I can see she's in an automation. I can see she opened it, clicked a link. Oh, what you doing, cookied contact? You clicked a link. What did you click? Right? So I can tell somebody's whole behavior, every email, every engagement, every link, everything you did, my friends, I can see. Sorry. If you gave me your email and you clicked on CourtneyZenz.com to register for this, I can go out and go, oh, she could just open the newsletter. Here she got any questions about the lab, right? I don't do that today because I'm just launching Accidental Business Coach as a program. But I can see who's interested in the lab. I'm not stupid. I can tell who's engaging in our sleep coaching newsletter or who might be eyeing up sleep steps. And I truly try to be helpful. So I click an email and I say, hey, just checking in. Any questions I can answer? Right? It's me. It's not a VA, it's me doing it, but I'm process optimizing because I only have a certain amount of time, but I also want to build value, right? Systems like ActiveCampaign and the end-to-end capability of contact CRM client management all the way over here to marketing automation, it is an end-to-end system. It does not do contract signage. It is not something that processes payments. It's not what it's designed to do. So I have an e-commerce integrate, like you gotta know what you need, guys, and then you gotta architect it. That's what we do at the start of the lab for anybody that joins, because you're coming in hot with like a whole bunch of stuff, right? So you gotta sit and actually make sure that it makes sense, which is why when you join, we do a session to sit down together for an hour and I go, ooh, okay, what are you trying to get to? Right? And what makes sense for you? Somebody in the lab right now just hired me to redo their whole website. They've been a sleep consultant for 15 years, one of the first. And then she's like, I don't actually like ActiveCampaign. I am not going to do it because it's just too much for me. So I'm just basically working off referrals and I've built a big enough business that I don't want to deal with newsletters because I can barely open my iPhone. Fair. What do you want it to look like? Oh, we can do that in 17 hats. Give me your access. Here's how you set it up. Here's the code to put it on your website. Here's the process flow. Here's the she's like, you just saved me 2 hours a day in 15 minutes. I was manually entering the contact, then I'm manually sending out the questionnaires, and then I'm manually inputting all this stuff, then I'm manually sending a link to the thing, to book the call, to do the thing. Thank you, Courtney, right? Sometimes it's not necessarily that it has to be an all-in-one system. What do you want for your business? That's going to help you to figure out what the right system is and what makes the most sense. Okay. So I don't want you to be overwhelmed in watching this replay going, I have no idea what she's even talking about. I don't even know how to write an email, right? Understand that you can start small with just basic system optimization. Don't pay for 75 sites when you don't need them, but pay for one that's going to do what you need to make you money in your business. Sitting there and trying to manage stuff off Excel spreadsheets with individualized emails, that's all right for the first couple of months, but it's not going to help you scale, right? So you've got to make sure you've got the right systems and the right architecture in place, or you're going to piss away 2 years in business and then go, oh, I should have done that when I started, right? That's the thing you don't want to do. So you got to figure out like what's important to you. How do you plan to communicate with people? How are you going to nurture them? And then how are you ultimately going to convert them to be clients in whatever it is that you sell? And it depends if it's a product or a service. Services, you need more of a consultative selling approach, right? So there's a little bit of a balance in that. Okay. So hopefully this session's been helpful for you. I know it's a lot with email marketing and nurture sequences and automations and campaigns. It's all good stuff. It's all stuff we dive into more in the lab, and it's all stuff I'm happy to help with because it can be overwhelming. Okay. ActiveCampaign is not the only system. It is just what we use. I love it. And I'm happy that we made the choice to go from there. But there's a lot of them out there that do things that are similar. So just make sure that you understand all of this before you get started with one, because I switched from 17 hats to Dubsado when I grew a team because 17 hats couldn't support a team without everybody seeing each other's stuff. And I didn't want that. I wanted privacy. It's their own clients. They don't need to be seen by everyone, right? So I moved to Dubsado, spent 6 months setting it up. It's like, yes, everybody is in their own system. And I got all these automations and I got all these mailboxes and everything's great. Oh, with Dubsado, you can only send from one email. That's helpful when I have 10 consultants and everybody's selling from the info@tinytransitions email. I just wasted 6 months of my business because you told me I could have multiple users, and I inferred that multiple users meant multiple email addresses. It does not, my friends. Requirements gathering, right? I missed. And I spent 6 months building out something that inevitably I threw in the trash because I was like, I can't use this. How the hell am I supposed to keep people straight? This one's everybody's sending from the same email address. That's the dumbest thing you guys have designed ever. Like, well, we're working on it. Like, all right, well, cool, cancel my contract, right? Like, so you got to understand, if you want to grow a team, don't choose a system like that that's going to limit you, right? So it's like, and you may not know now where your business is going to be in 5 years. I didn't have a team when I started. You're going to grow and shift, which is great. You just got to understand what you're doing and make sure that you're sitting down and writing out everything you need to run a business, a website, e-commerce, social media, integration, CRM, email marketing systems, right? Payment processors. There are so many things that have to connect. You don't want to do it wrong, or you're just going to waste time and lose money, right? So just take audit first of your tech stack and make sure you understand what you believe you need based on your business so that you can start moving the needle forward with curated, thoughtful messages, understanding, connectivity with your clients, and engagement, consistency in your engagement, consistency in your help and how you're delivering your message. It's what's going to help people to decide they want to work with you. Whether I'm in the sleep space or in the business space, like, people decide they want to work with me at one point when something I talk about triggers them. When's that going to be? For sleep clients, you're potentially a client for 5, 10 years, right? Business, you're potentially a sleep client for as long as you're in business. Something I tell you is going to move the needle at some point. I'll be here, and I want to make sure I'm here. So I'm nurturing you, whether it's once a month or once a day, depends on what you're trying to do and where they are in the lead cycle, right? So just keep that in mind. Do an audit of your technology. Make sure you understand the systems that you have and what they're capable of doing. And then be thoughtful in how you are contacting and connecting with your clients. Okay. So hopefully this session was helpful in opening your eyes to this world of email marketing, newsletters. Again, if you're looking for systems, Constant Contact, ActiveCampaign, ClickFunnels, but that can be cost prohibitive for new businesses. There are sites like Leadpages, also cost prohibitive and separate systems. Flowdesk can do it. MailChimp can do it to certain degrees, right? But what do you want it to do? Just send a once-a-month campaign or nurture people based on activity? Two different things. One, you need an email. One, you need a cookie, right? That's the difference. So start with requirements. And then if and when you're ready and need help, I will always be here. I hope you found the session helpful, and I hope you have a good rest of the day. Thanks so much. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you, Courtney.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.